Good morning. Edge browser secrets. These are 6 browser secrets you might want to know. Using collections, save your Edge tabs in collections, Microsoft Edge for Linux on your Chromebook, pin websites to the taskbar, import settings and tabs from Google Chrome, change the font size in the immersive reader. Collections is Microsoft's Edge, helps you keep track of your ideas on the web, whether you're shopping, planning a trip, collecting notes for research or lesson plans, or just want to pick up where you left off the last time you were browsing the internet. Collections syncs across your signed in with your Microsoft account devices. So if you use Microsoft Edge on multiple devices, your collections will always be up to date on all of them. Microsoft Edge is a multi-platform app available for Android and Apple mobile devices and Apple Chromebook and Linux desktops. If you want to start a collection on your computer, what you do is click on the 3 dots, the right-hand corner of your Edge menu. Then you select Collections to start a new collection. To change the title of the collection, select it at the top of the collection pane. And when you're ready to start adding content to your collection, you can do this in several ways. You can select Add Current Page to save an entire web page to collection. Select and drag an image into collection. Select or drag a link or highlight text into the collection. You also can quickly save all your Edge browser tabs and reopen them using collections. To save your tabs to a collection, simply right-click on the tab and select Add All Tabs to a new collection. Tabs in your active window will be added to a new collection with the option to rename it. To reopen those tabs, right-click on the collection, select either to open the items in the current window or new window or an in private window. I know most Chromebook users stick with Chrome for their browser choice. After all, it's the default browser and interface on Chromebook. But for some folks, like alternate browsers, to use Microsoft Edge for Linux on your Chromebook, you'll obviously need to have Linux enabled. To do this, go to Settings in the Chrome OS and look for Developers menu under Advanced. Once Linux is enabled on your Chromebook, navigate to this link on your Chromebook. I'll place this in the chat box. You'll want to scroll down below the Edge downloads for Windows, Mac OS, Android, and iOS. There you will see an option for Linux. I've highlighted the one you will want to click, which is the .deb for installation package. Here's a screenshot of that page. You'll find different versions of Edge for the various devices, but then if you scroll down to the very bottom, you shall see Microsoft Edge is now available on Linux. Download for Linux, Deb, Linux, RPM. Once that completes, you should have an Edge icon in your Chrome OS launcher, and you've got Microsoft Edge on a Chromebook. Pinning websites to the taskbar for quick access. The taskbar pinning wizard helps you pin your favorite sites to the taskbar. The pinning wizard suggests up to 6 sites to pin based on your browsing history. If there is not enough browsing history to offer personalized suggestions, you'll get suggestions for popular sites instead. To do this, open the Settings and More, the 3 dots menu, choose More Tools, and then launch Taskbar Pinning Wizard. If you want to import settings and tabs from Google Chrome to Microsoft Edge, to do this, to import from Chrome, start by opening Settings and More menu, the 3 dots again, and then choose Settings. In Profiles, choose Import Browser Data under your currently active profile. Once the dialog box appears, choose Google Chrome under Import From, and then check or uncheck the boxes for each data type according to what you want to import. The two new options are at the bottom of the list, and they are settings and open tabs. Choose import to start the import process. If you choose to import tabs, all your open tabs from Chrome will be added to Microsoft Edge, and those that were pinned in Chrome will be pinned in Microsoft Edge. If you choose to import settings, the imported settings will be immediately applied. Here's a screenshot of this. This is my profile, and here's where you select import browser data. You'll get this dialog box, and then you'll want to do the drop-down arrow to Google Chrome. And then once you get that, you'll see this dialog box, and here's the check marks that you can check of which items you want to be imported into Chrome. If you use the reading facility in Edge, which is called the Immersive Reader, you can now change the fonts in the Microsoft Edge. Microsoft continues improving Immersive Reader in the browser with new features and capabilities. This latest update comes with an additional customization option to change the default font. Now you can select from 3 fonts, Calibri, Sitka, and Comic Sans. To change the font, you can follow these steps. Open any web page that is eligible for Immersive Reader. And as you can see, it's the little book that's to the right of your address bar. And then you click the text preferences. Find the font section in the new pop-up, select one you like most. The browser will apply changes immediately with no reload page. And here's a screenshot of that. And also, as you notice, you can change the size of the font, as I said earlier, and then here's the new fonts that you can select from. And that completes our Windows tip today. I'm Bill James. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is a router journey from 802.11ac to Wi-Fi 6E. A year ago, I devoted part of a Tech Talk to problems with my then 4-year-old Linksys AC 1900 802.11ac dual band router at our place here at Silver Ridge in Mesa. With the help of a Linksys tech service guy and a firmware update, this $150 router came back to life, seemed to work pretty good. Last summer, back in Minnesota, I bought a new Grace Mondo Elite Internet radio, which allows me to listen to my favorite radio stations from Minnesota, Arizona, or wherever using the internet. It was only $139, and it worked well using our Wi-Fi at our Minnesota home. But when I set it up to use the Wi-Fi from my Linksys AC 1900 router here at Silver Ridge, this new internet radio constantly had problems. It frequently stopped playing and would need rebooting to work well again. I noticed that if I rebooted my Linksys router, the radio would work okay for a day or two and then revert to being troublesome. That was indeed a clue that maybe the router, my Linksys AC 1900, was the problem. After researching Wi-Fi 6 routers for our tin shack with lean-to here at Silver Ridge, I bought a TP-Link Archer AX3000 802.11ax type router. It was $122 with Amazon Prime. Installation was mostly straightforward, and I was super pleased that my Grace Internet radio was again working perfectly all the time, along with all my other connected devices. I said installation was mostly straightforward. Well, my only sticking point was which network encryption standard to use. I simply put off picking the standard until I found time to learn more about it. Didn't get around to it for a while. My answer came last week in the form of an article at howtogeek.com titled, "What's the best Wi-Fi encryption to use in 2022?" Writer Benj Edwards states flatly that as of February 2022, the best Wi-Fi security encryption standard is called Wi-Fi Protected Access version 3, or WPA3 for short. The Wi-Fi Alliance introduced it several years ago, and there are several versions. WPA3 is the most common. It's designed for individual and home Wi-Fi users. You're allowed to pick your own password, even if it isn't very secure. Other versions are designed for enterprise users. Since WPA encryption is still moderately new, you may have some older devices that don't support WPA3 encryption. If that's the case, you might consider using WPA2 instead. Though it's way less secure than WPA3, it's still better than earlier standards. Or if your older router doesn't have WPA3 encryption, it's a good reason to buy a new router. You also appreciate the faster speeds available with Wi-Fi 6, which is really the way to go. It just occurred to me that not long ago, I would refer to router standards as 802.11ac or 802.11ax. And now I'm talking about Wi-Fi 6 and even about Wi-Fi 6E. So what is going on? In an article at TheVerge.com several years ago, Jake Kastronakis explained that previously Wi-Fi generation were referred to by a weird naming scheme that required you to understand that 802.11ax was faster than 802.11ac, and 802.11ac was faster than 802.11n, and so forth. To fix that, several years ago, the Wi-Fi Alliance, golly, we're hearing about them again. Maybe that's a tech talk in the future. Anyway, several years back, the Wi-Fi Alliance decided to rename Wi-Fi generations with simple version numbers. Consequently, the then current 802.11ac turned into Wi-Fi 5, and 802.11ax became Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E. So what is Wi-Fi 6E? Depending on who's defining it, the E stands for expanded or extended or extend one and so forth. This diagram illustrates the basic difference between Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E. They're both 6th generation. Wi-Fi 6 is 2.4 and 5 gigahertz only. Wi-Fi 6E, even though it doesn't show it, is also 2.4 plus 5 gigahertz, but also includes an extension to the 6 gigahertz band. That is what is new with Wi-Fi 6E. To better understand Wi-Fi 6E, I found a very recent article at Wired.com titled, "What is Wi-Fi 6E and Do I Need It?" Author Simon Hill notes that we collectively stream more movies and TV shows, play more online games, and make more video calls than ever before. All this activity puts a serious strain on our Wi-Fi networks. Now, Wi-Fi 6 gave us faster and more reliable access, and Wi-Fi 6E takes another giant step forward, especially regarding connectivity of multiple devices. Wi-Fi 6E is also a description for devices operating in the 6 gigahertz band, which is a new swath of unlicensed spectrum that just became recently available. It's now available in North and South America and nearly 60 other countries around the world. So it's quite widely accepted. Wi-Fi 6E extends the capacity, efficiency, coverage, and performance benefits of Wi-Fi 6 into the 6 gigahertz frequency band. Now, the slower 2.4 gigahertz band has only 11 channels, each just 20 megahertz wide. The 5 gigahertz band has 45 channels, 4 times as many, that can be fused to create 40 megahertz or 80 megahertz wide channels that can transmit much more data at once. Just remember, more bandwidth, more data. More bandwidth can hold more data. Wi-Fi 6E's 6 gigahertz band supports 60 channels, each of which can be up to 160 megahertz wide. Wow, that's not only more channels, but a humongous increase in bandwidth. After all this Wi-Fi 6 hype, I think I need to bring everyone back down to reality. A February 2nd article at CNET.com titled, Wi-Fi 6E routers are here, and we are not ready for them. This article should do the job. The article's author, Chris Monroe, tested two of the top Wi-Fi 6E routers currently available, the Netgear Nighthawk RAXE500 left, which is generally considered very, very good, and also the ASUS ROG Rapture GT-AXE 11000 on the right, which Monroe says looks like a cyborg arachnid sent from the future to kill Spider-Man. Thought that was humorous. He came away with the conclusion that there's little reason for anybody to splurge on one of these 6E routers at this time. The problem is that there are very few devices currently equipped to really take advantage of the 6 gigahertz band. So even if you own a Google 6 or Google 6 Pro or the Samsung S21 Ultra phone or a Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Extreme Gen 4 laptop, which are all able to use the 6 gigahertz band, you won't likely see performance anytime soon that's noticeably better than what you might see with the 5 gigahertz band right now. Monroe says that one could figure that the 5 gigahertz band would actually be preferable for most, if not all, of your regular network traffic. And his article produced charts to prove his point. That's not to say there aren't benefits with Wi-Fi 6E. The 6 gigahertz band hugely widens the bandwidth for many additional channels operating simultaneously. That's the multi-lane expressway analogy that will make Wi-Fi 6E ideal for stadiums, airports, or any place where large numbers of people are connecting simultaneously. In fact, and listen to this sentence, Monroe says perhaps the smartest move for most of us would be to buy a Wi-Fi 6E capable phone rather than a Wi-Fi 6E router. And those are really pricey. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today. And I am sticking with it because I did a lot of research, learned a lot, and I hope you learned something too. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. And the good Lord willing, I'll be back, I believe, in 2 weeks with another Tech Talk.
The Moka pot. The Moka pot. The Moka pot? What the heck is a Moka pot? I don't know. Well, those of you who read Tech for Senior newsletter on Tuesday will, of course, know what a Moka pot is. You'll also, Bill James, our regular contributor, is the gadget guy. But Bill is more than a gadget guy. Bill, of course, is a very experienced technologist. He teaches Chromebooks, he teaches Windows 10, Windows 11, and knows a lot about gadgets. So he writes weekly columns in our Tuesday newsletter. And if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, you should. You can come over to www.techforsenior, just over here, and I'll show you. And you can sign up, and we'll send you free of charge that newsletter twice a week. It comes out on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And Saturdays, it actually has the agenda for the Monday show. But don't peek, because we don't want you to not come if you don't see anything interesting, because we always have something interesting for you. Yes. So there are many ways of making espresso coffee. But Will writes in his article, in the year 2000, I went on vacation to Italy. There I was served some of the best tasting coffee I'd ever tasted. The device was known as the Moka pot, which is this week's gadget. So you're wondering, what is a Moka pot and how does it work? I have a Moka pot, which is a fascinating device for brewing coffee. In this article, we'll explain why you should own one and if you are a serious coffee drinker. A good cup of coffee is comparable to a good bottle of wine, and the Moka pot is one of the most traditional methods of making espresso at home. It was invented in Italy and named after the famous port city of Moka, which is in Yemen, the country that was the first to trade coffee. The invention of this small machine, macchinette in Italian, another name for it, changed the way millions of people drank coffee. All right, this looks like fun. I've got one of the traditional espresso machines, so I'm going to try this. So off to Amazon we go. And yes, they have the Moka pot. Now this is in Canadian prices, so it will be cheaper over on the US side. But let's have a look at this. I can get a 3-cup Moka pot maker for $44.99. Sounds pretty good. But here's where I want you to look down on the right side, and you'll see a red box. And you'll see that you can buy them from the Amazon warehouse cheaper. Now remember what I told you in the past, always look for warehouse deals. Now as we slide down here, we're going to open the box new and used, and there's 51 to choose from, so let's see what we get. All right, this brings us up to the next slide, which shows that we can get one from the Amazon warehouse for $40. So we're going to save some money. Now in actual fact, I forgot to take a screenshot of the one I bought. I was able to get one. It said it was slightly damaged, and I got it for $15 off. But unfortunately, I didn't capture that image. So there are great deals. And when I got it here, I'm going to show you what happened when I opened the box. So always look for warehouse deals, particularly in something like this, which is pretty much indestructible. So let's have a look what happens when I open the box. All right, this is the parcel that arrived from Amazon, and you'll see it's in it's not in a box, but it's in a bag. Now of course I've opened the bag, and we'll have a look here in a minute, but it's not in a box. Usually if Amazon sends you a parcel, it comes in a box, but of course this is because this is from the Amazon warehouse. Now remember, when we ordered this, it was ordered as a damaged open box, but we're saving money. And most of the time when I order something from the warehouse and it says it's been opened, it hasn't. It's the original. But let's have a look and see whatever, because this is just a Moka pot. All right, so now we're opening this, and this is of course the Moka pot that we have. You'll see as I show it to you here, it of course has been opened. So let's see what's inside and see how this looks. All right, so let's open this up on the side here, and we'll see how this looks here. All right, so as we open this now, came wrapped. Here's our instructions. This is the Moka Express, and this is our Moka pot. It came, of course, wrapped, and of course it said on the top there was damage. So let's open this up, this bag up, and have a look at our Moka pot. And here's our Moka pot. Put the packaging over here, and as you can see, this of course is in a brand new state. There's no damage to it at all, and it is a completely looks like a completely brand new item. So those of you who have not used a Moka pot before, let's just go over how you do this. This makes espresso coffee, so you don't have to have any of those fancy espresso machines. So this, of course, this unscrews, and we have two parts. There's the top part, and then of course this is the bottom part. Now this is where, this is a pressure relief valve here. We're just going to take the filter out here, and this is where you put the hot water. So You boil water in a kettle, and it's best if you put hot water in the bottom. You don't have to, but it's better if the water is hot, because then as it infuses into the coffee, it's at a constant temperature. So you boil some water and you fill it up, not too full. You should fill it just below this pressure. This is a pressure relief valve, just below there, and just leave the coffee in there. Now you then take this, our coffee where you put the coffee, and you're going to fill this with ground coffee. It should be medium to fine grind. You don't have to tap it down, just fill it with coffee. And you're going to put it here. And now if you look, and I don't know if you can see this in the, let's see if you can see this in the video, but there's a stem that comes up here, and this stem comes up to the top. Now what happens is this is a reverse of how you normally make coffee. In an espresso machine, you know, the coffee goes in, the steam comes in from down, and it forces down into a container. Where in this, this base is going to make steam, because it's going to sit on the oven. It's going to make steam. The steam is going to come up through the this filter, which you can see has a whole bunch of little holes in it. And as the steam comes up, it's going to come up through and up through this tube at the top, and it's going to pour into here. And this will be the water will go from a steamy condition to a liquid condition as it's come through the coffee, and this is how your mocha pot generates the coffee. So this just basically, this comes back on like this, and now we're ready to take this and we're ready to put it on the stove and make some coffee. Remember to subscribe to our Tuesday newsletter so you can watch Bill James and his gadgets. Remember, when purchasing on Amazon, always look for warehouse deals. And remember to have a great cup of coffee. And also remember to like and subscribe. Till we see you again, it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Have a great day.